Hi, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. We'll get to everything in a minute after Kayce in her pro football show makeup that she just got done this morning in
Yeah.
Chicago.
I look alive. I look awake.
Kayce will tell you about High Noon Hard Seltzer.
I do love a good high noon. Ev, we've been talking about the fact that it is now officially football season. I'm in the Chicago office right now. NFL starts tonight. I can imagine the high noon is going to be flowing here, flowing everywhere. Watching. I mean, we're like college football. As college football people, we love college football week one because obviously it's like the grand opening of the season. But this weekend, we've got NFL, we've got college football. We're traveling to Ann Arbor. I feel like everything's a buzz and everyone needs a high noon.
That Kayce, everyone definitely needs a high noon. Like you said, NFL tonight. We have nonstop football, Kayce, till Monday. Today,
Nonstop.
tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then October comes around, Conference USA, Tuesday, Wednesdays. We have it every day. And every single day you need it with high noon.
highnoonspirits.com. Find a pack near you. The In Zone pack is the limited edition fall pack. So go find that, find all the good stuff. And yeah, have yourself an NFL Thursday, college football weekend, NFL, the whole thing. Brandon, high noon. High noon, high noon, high noon.
Did y'all see the picture of Dave Portnoy throwing the horns up?
No.
I sure did.
Yeah, I retweeted
Better
that.
believe I did.
You didn't? No, I actually just
I'm probably gonna accidentally retweet it tomorrow morning too, and then I might even accidentally do it Saturday because
like when we're in Ann Arbor.
or wherever. I mean, the guy's clearly a Texas fan. He clearly believes Texas is going to win this game. So
I will be honest. When I just saw him walk by in this office, I was shocked he wasn't still wearing his crown. I thought that crown was never going to be off his head.
I might have some counters to the crown in the mail on the way.
For when we're in Ann Arbor? Oh my God.
Let's just say it's a race against time to see if we're gonna. Yeah, look at that man throwing up the horns up.
But he is wearing a Michigan jersey in it, though. Does that?
Not really. He probably slept in that. That's probably an old thing he had. Doesn't matter. He's throwing the horns up. Good for him. All right, we got college football week 2. Before we get to week 2, I guess it's injury news. I guess it's relevant Florida news. Florida, and I don't know if it's. They say Graham Mertz has a concussion. Okay, that certainly is something that warrants mentioning. But it could also be a desperate attempt for the coach to save his job. DJ Lagway, the 5-star freshman at Florida, is going to start this week against Samford. So I don't know. Probably not a desperate attempt for the coach to save his job. It probably is injury related, but it is probably the best way the coach can save his job is if the 5-star freshman gets in there and plays well against Samford. Then going forward, Liam.
Yep.
Concussion or desperate attempt to save his job?
If Graham Mertz has a concussion, he might have been playing with one in college for about 3-4 years. Also, Napier was always going to throw a desperate attempt to play Lagway to try and save his job. It was only a matter of when. Did it really happen a week into the season? If so, pretty sad. Time for Florida to move on. $26 million's nothing. Find your next guy.
Yeah, and I don't know where DJ Lagway would play next year under that scenario. But anyway, that's not really – it doesn't warrant much discussion because that's just Florida, a very, very bad football team with a very bad coach changing their quarterback. So
I have a question with that because, I mean, obviously I want to believe that if they say he has a concussion that they're not lying. Wouldn't somebody leak that he doesn't have a concussion if he didn't actually have one? Like,
probably. I don't know.
I mean, listen, it's a very odd timing, very peculiar coincidence, but it's also like, I don't know, if I'm Graham Mertz and I don't have a concussion and they're saying that I have a concussion, I'm making sure somebody's saying that I don't have a concussion.
I'll trust that he has a concussion, but
like my boys would be telling somebody.
Yeah, but it does line up with Billy Napier's strategy to save his ass down there in Gainesville. Although he's a better person than me because if my buyout was $26 million and I sucked at my job, I would just continue sucking at my job and get that money.
Well, also at some point you have to be like, okay, even if I save my job for this week or next week or whatever, he's eventually he's not going to all of a sudden turn into like Urban Meyer at Florida. Like, why not just cut your losses now, guy?
Yeah, I don't know, but I take the Ed Orgeron approach to buyouts. When Ed Orgeron talked about at LSU, he was like, They told me they didn't want me to coach no more. They said they're going to pay me $17 million and not coach. I said, where's the door?
And then he ends up in a pool with like a 22-year-old hot blonde. The man just knew what he was doing.
Yeah, it remains my favorite exit of all time because he not only got the money, he not only had that funny soundbite, but when he got the money, where did he go? He took his redneck ass to Destin, Florida. He didn't go to the Bahamas. He didn't go to Turks and Caicos. He went to Destin, Florida.
Happy as shit, too.
Yeah.
Living his best life.
Yeah. All right. So this is like this slate to me, these games are like this show. It's one bright shining star and then a bunch of other people that are there, right? So it is Texas, Michigan, which is the Brandon Walker of this particular Saturday, and then a whole bunch of Kayce Smiths and Big Evs and Blutmans. So
you're on one today, huh?
Huh?
Are you on one today?
I just got done with my walk. I'm a little tired. I'm doing what I can. I was up late last night. I went to Milwaukee to watch some wrestling. Anyway,
when I walked into the Mostly Sports studio this morning, you were just down bad. You weren't even listening to anything.
No, I was just sitting on the couch staring forward like that Pablo Escobar meme. You've seen that one? Where
That's exactly what he looked like. He was just contemplating whether he wanted to go on for the rest of life today. Like I was like, "You good?" And he was just like, "I'm fine." I'm like, oh, okay, man.
I was just sitting. I was having my morning sit. You don't have a morning sit every now and then where you just
no. I'm not 75 years old, and I tried to like give you a hug because like usually you hug back, and you didn't even want to hug me.
No, I didn't know it wasn't hug time.
Very Navy Temple of you.
Yeah, well, fair enough. So we have Texas, we have Michigan. I hope. All that objectivity is gone at this point. I hope Texas beats the literal fucking shit out of them. I hope actual shit comes out of their britches. But it does feel like, and there's a lot of these spots on the board, Big Ev. It's just me and you right now. Don't worry about anybody else. It's me and you. Nobody wants Michigan to lose more than you or I. That's just a fact. But it does feel like a spot where teams that didn't look that good in week one, people just chalk it up and say, oh, well, that team's not very good. Texas is going to roll them. Whereas Michigan, sandbagging could be a thing. They might not have been showing anything on film. They might just been sluggish. But now they got a big-time team coming in. I like this spot. If I'm only betting, it's a scary spot to be playing Michigan at. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, no, the quarterback play, the offense, the quarterback play was dreadful. No, I mean, week 1 to week 2 is the classic overreaction spot. Or, I mean, you've seen a lot of the spreads move. This time last week, this was a 3.5 point spread. Now it's 7.5.
Yeah.
Seen it like NC State, Tennessee, same thing. We've seen some lines go up from looking good, looking not so good. But I think this is one I don't think it's the buyback time. Because I think Michigan's offense is just that bad. I don't care if you were vanilla. I mean, this is big bad Michigan. Punch them in the mouth.
Yeah.
Line them up 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Well, and then, I mean, if you can't bully Fresno, I mean, you're not going to bully Texas. I mean, I'd be shocked if they did.
Yeah,
I do think it's going to be low scoring, but
that's what I'm going back to see. I just want to see, because even if you're vanilla, let's say you're vanilla, and let's say you're doing things and you're trying to hold back and you're not doing anything to really push yourself. You're just running the football. Well, they ran for 148 yards, and that's not a whole lot. And I'm trying to look up their stats right now. They ran for 148 yards on 33 carries. I don't know what the average is, but it ain't great. It ain't great at all. So even if you're toning down the offense, you ought to be able to man on man beat Fresno at the line of scrimmage and hit some big runs and gut them. And they couldn't. That being said, Texas still has to answer some run defense questions, and Michigan only ran Donovan Edwards 11 times. I feel like if you really wanted to thump somebody, you'd run your horse, you'd run your number one bell cow a little bit more than that. So I'm torn on this, but Texas also went into Alabama week 2 last year and beat Alabama, and that Alabama team is better than this Michigan team, in my opinion, Kayce.
Yeah, no, I was about to say it's not necessarily about Michigan for me with where I think that this is going to even out. I think Texas is just that good. And when you look at where they were really good last year against Alabama, and it is a little bit different of a team, but they're so solid in the trenches. And then now you have an offense. And I understand they didn't play anybody last week. And I understand going into Michigan, after they win the national title and it's in the big house, early game, whatever, those are all like absolute factors. But Texas didn't show me anything last week or even throughout the season last year that says they're going to all of a sudden just be scared of an offense that Michigan had that didn't look great when they're so much better in the trenches. Now, do I think that Davis Warren could end up being better? Sure. Do I think Donovan Edwards could be better? Sure. But what I do know is that Texas is just better in the trenches, it seems, than what Michigan could potentially bring to the table. I'm not saying Michigan's bad in the trenches whatsoever, but Texas seems to have figured it out in all facets of the game.
Blutman?
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think Michigan left off a lot. I think they purposely left a lot off film in that Fresno State game. Shady program doing shady things. It ain't shady, but you get where I'm coming from. I think you're going to see a lot more Alex Orji this game. He's going to have a lot more action, especially in the red zone. And I think we have a truly fascinating matchup that isn't being talked about near enough. It's those Texas wide receivers against the Michigan secondary. Isaiah Bond against Will Johnson. That's box office. This is going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch the receivers against the corners, against the safeties.
I do think it's going to be a very good game. I don't think that Texas and or Michigan has blowout potential.
I think Texas could have blowout potential.
Really?
I don't think it'll happen. I don't. But if Texas is as good as I think, and Michigan, who I'm not sure if they're good or not, if Michigan's not that good, then I think there could be 3 touchdown potential here. I'm not going to pick that, but I think the potential is there. Now, there's no Michigan blowing out Texas scenario, in my opinion.
If there's a blowout, it's like 42-17.
Yeah.
It's just a complete onslaught where their offense is clicking and all cylinders, cannot be stopped every single drive.
I mean, this is a team with a senior quarterback who's one of the best 5 quarterbacks in the country, with a receiver room that's ready to go. Offensive line's very good, so that should mitigate Michigan's defensive line advantage they have over most teams. Now, Michigan is great in the secondary, but again, senior quarterback who's been through it all. He's won. He went in Tuscaloosa and won, so the big house isn't going to do shit to him. So I do think I think it'll be a close game, but I do think the potential is there for a blowout.
Well, and you just said it mitigates it. Like, even like if Texas had a weak offensive or defensive line, which we know that they haven't since last year, then you could say, okay, potentially that just those big, huge, gigantic dudes that Michigan has, regardless of anything else, are going to be able to overpower them. We know that that's not going to be the case. And then if you're just putting the 2 offenses on paper and who's going to be able to score, what we saw last week and what we know Texas has are just not on the same playing field. Again, I think, maybe Michigan held some things back. From an athletic standpoint, from what we've seen, we could change our minds, but from what we've seen, Texas has by far the advantage there. So it would be hard for me to pick Michigan, because how can you pick against Quinn Ewers?
The bottom line is this. Texas owes the sport of college football. They owe the fans of college football to go in there and beat these fucking pricks and end this little winning streak they got, and end all hope that this is another year where they're going to be good all year. Like, Texas, go fucking do it. Last year, you humbled Alabama, and I appreciated that for the moment. This year, why don't you go humble these pieces of shit? How about that, Big Ev? How can Texas come through for the boys one time?
I think they are. I believe in them. Like you talked about, we were there in Tuscaloosa last year. Quinn Ewers played a phenomenal game.
Phenomenal.
Sarkisian had a great game plan. I think he will again this time around. I think they know what they're up against with Michigan's defense. I think they get it done. One time for the boys, Brandon.
One time for the fucking boys.
You know what's so tough is that I don't want Texas to win this game from an A&M standpoint, but I think they're going to win. So it's like I want to be right, but it just this is why. Okay, I never thought I would say this. I'm going to miss divisions so much, because what I'm now battling with is, like, if Texas wins this game, and obviously you're playing an SEC schedule, fine, and you have to play, but like Texas is not playing an SEC West schedule or an SEC East schedule. Like, Texas's SEC schedule is not near as strong as it would have been in divisions. So now I'm just torn, because I'm like, well, shit, I want to be right, But Texas is going to get to walk in the SEC in year one and be like, see, it's not that hard. I don't like that.
Well, I mean, they do play Georgia.
They do play Georgia, yes, but
They
that's really the only team.
play
Like
Georgia, Oklahoma, and Mississippi State. So
they don't play Alabama. They don't play Ole Miss. They don't play LSU.
They play A&M, Kayce. You'll have your chance.
I just told you where they play Mississippi State. I don't know what you want.
Ev, listen, I would literally sell my soul to win that game. I don't care if A&M loses every other game. I would sell my soul because I just the haunting of first year in the SEC. I'm scared. I'm scared. But that's a long time from now. Okay,
Kayce,
we're focused on Ann Arbor.
Kayce, your birthday's coming up.
In October, the end of October, yeah.
Do you need a few more bracelets?
Sure. Would you like to make me one?
How many bracelets can one person wear?
I could wear way more.
I don't think so. That's as many as you could possibly wear.
They all have meaning.
I think you've reached your bracelet limit.
Okay, fine. Unless you want to make me another one.
I'm not making
If you make me one, whatever it says, I'll wear it. How about that?
whatever it says.
Whatever it says.
Challenge,
I currently have one. I don't know.
challenge accepted.
I don't want to say it on YouTube because I don't want to get demonetized, but I currently have one that says something that I wouldn't, be broadcasting everywhere. It's on my wrist.
What is on your wrist that could get us demonetized?
I think maybe I don't know. I'll come after this show. I'll come downstairs and I'll show you.
All right, very good.
Also, Brandon, just for my birthday's in a few weeks, so
Brandon. Yeah. By the way,
I will be expecting a gift.
You want a bracelet too?
A gift, yes.
Ev, I actually have in my phone when your birthday is because I feel like every single year, no fail, we are on a college football road trip and we're all on the plane. I feel like it's happened at least 2, maybe 3 years in a row. And we're all sitting there. We've been talking all morning. And then I see on Twitter, people wishing you happy birthday. And I feel like the biggest piece of shit ever.
Yeah, actually a few years we have had, me and Brandon went to Wrigley. The one year was my birthday.
And he didn't know.
We were, because I usually we're on the PJ and I'm like, Kayce, snap this quick pic of me so I can flex on Instagram on my birthday.
Yep.
One of those. Usually one of those once a year. Midweek this year.
I bought him a hot dog at Wrigley.
Did you know it was his birthday?
No, I just bought him a hot dog.
I don't think I said anything that time.
Yeah. Brandon never knows when anybody's birthdays are. I just hope he knows his wife's birthday.
It's in October or June. One of them.
Well,
or could be April. I don't know. March? Who knows?
Your work wife is October, so don't get that messed up.
She's just a woman, so it doesn't matter. Let's do some business.
Some business is DraftKings. So we talked about this on the last episode, Ev. I know you're a big time anytime touchdown guy. Do you have a Thursday night football anytime touchdown pick for the people?
Zay Flowers and Isaiah Pacheco. Those are the 2 picks. One each side.
Okay. Brandon, I'm assuming you're in the competition.
CD Lamb and Devon Achane.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot.
He changes the way he says his name every week, so I don't know.
By the way, A-Chain is way cooler.
A-Chain is way cooler.
So Liam, are you in the anytime touchdown thing for DraftKings?
I am, and I've been trying to figure out who I'm going to go with. I think I finally figured it out after a long thought process.
All right.
And?
Jerome Ford, Cleveland Browns.
Okay. And I'm going with Kenneth Walker. So for people that are listening that don't know what we're talking about, we're doing like a survivor pool anytime touchdown with like the Barstool content personalities, and you can get involved on DraftKings. And then of course, for just a few more weeks, we have the amazing promo that if you're a first time user, you just go deposit $5, put $5 on any bet, and you get $250 in bonus bets immediately. Use our promo code ROUGH. And obviously, if you're just now getting into sports betting or you've been betting forever, sports gambling, then you know that like just going on and just getting started is usually the hardest thing to do, and DraftKings is making it super easy. So download this DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code ROUGH. That's ROUGH for new customers. Again, $5 when you bet, and you get $250 in bonus bets with just $5. And through the next couple weeks, you get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on DraftKings. So it's only on DraftKings. Go do it. Later on in the show, we will have our Unnecessary Roughness DraftKings parlay. So stay tuned for that.
All right. Now, I mentioned Michigan looking average in week one and then not to necessarily accept that as who they are. I think there's several spots here, and we'll get to the game of the week, the player of the week, the radar, under the radar stuff. We'll get to that in just a second. But I think there's several spots like the Michigan spot where don't get your hopes up that this is how bad they are. I think a couple of those are obviously Boise at Oregon. I think Oregon is a spot where people think Boise can walk in there and compete. And I just would warn against a team that's explosive as Oregon is on paper. Just because they don't explode the first week doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Dylan Gabriel also passed for a bunch of yards. They just didn't convert them into points. They were 1 for 3 on fourth down. So I think that's a good spot. And I am forgetting what the other one is. Oh no, it is Tennessee, NC State. NC State struggled in week one. Tennessee did not. A lot of people think Tennessee's just going to roll this team, but NC State is a lot better on paper than they showed in week one, and this is a great bounce back spot for them. Big Ev, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's one of the games I'm more excited for just because Nico has all this hype around him. Obviously, I was very high in NC State. I didn't think NC State's offense looked bad. The defense gave up a lot of yards and some points in Western Carolina, which was definitely concerning. The lines went up a lot. I think it was 6. Now it's 8.5. I'm concerned for my guys. I'm concerned for Grayson McCall. This Tennessee's a very good team, and I said before the season I thought this would be a potential playoff determining game. Obviously, if NC State was able to pull it off, that's a huge feather in their cap, beating Tennessee, especially with how weak the ACC is. I think it's high scoring though. And I do think NC State plays better than people are thinking right now. I think I might have to take the 8.5. I think they can keep it close.
One more team I should have mentioned for this spot, Clemson in a spot too. Clemson's a 17-point favorite over App State. A lot of people on App State because Clemson looks so bad, but it's a terrific week 2 spot for them as far as bouncing back and looking better. Blutman, do you think any of these teams I mentioned, Oregon, Clemson, NC State, you think any of them are exactly who they were in week one, or you think this is a spot where we see the real version?
I mean, I think NC State's kind of the team that we saw in week one. I think the ACC's they are flat out garbage. I've been harping that for 2 months now.
That's Don't hold back.
What?
Don't hold back.
Well, it's true. The ACC stinks. So if we expect NC State to be a little bit better, how much better even is that? I don't know. I don't think their bar is that high. I think Tennessee's gonna explode and truly maul them. I think that Jake Malsack actually said it best. This is a game where people look up and are oh, Tennessee's good. They're really, really good. I think they'll take care of NC State. Then with Clemson, I do think that they are the team that we saw in week one as well. This is Dabo. This is that team. Everyone keeps doing this thing where they try and give Clemson the benefit of the doubt every single year, and it doesn't make sense. They are the same team, the same offense that you see every single year. The receivers can't separate. The quarterback play is underwhelming because he's in such a dire spot that not many would succeed in. The play calling stinks. Riley needs to get to the booth instead of calling plays from the sideline. Defense is great. Offense, disaster.
All right. Kayce, who do you agree with?
I agree with Clemson. I think that, yes, obviously when you're going up against the best team in the country with the best defense, you're going to look like shit. The problem is that, and I'm not saying App State's just going to walk in and be able to handle them, but we know that App State is a team that historically can hang with the big guys, can hang, I don't think they'd be beating Georgia, but Clemson just has no creativity on offense. And I don't think that just because they're going from playing Kirby Smart and Georgia to the next week, they're all of a sudden going to have those problems figured out, because I don't think that Cade Klubnik is very good. I don't think that the offense is creative. I don't think that they have enough talent. So 17, you said 17.5 it is right now, that.
Around that, yeah.
That's a lot of points for a team that doesn't know how to score. And I do think that there will be an element of, okay, fine, they got killed by Georgia. It's Georgia. But in a vacuum, their offense still has nothing that makes me think that that's not the team that we saw. I think the score was extra ugly because it was Georgia.
We will have a segment later called the Under the Radar Game of the Week. And with Texas, Michigan pretty much owning the entire spotlight. They are I think there's 2 ranked on ranked matchups. It's Texas, Michigan. It's NC State, Tennessee. And NC State looking poor in the first week kind of took the shine off of it a little bit. But I feel like this entire group of games this Saturday, outside of those two, are under the radar games, including Iowa State at Iowa, which is just perpetually one of the most heated, one of the most competitive rivalry games we ever have. But it's forever under the radar. Like it's never like the biggest game of the week, but it is the one that is. I mean, it early season rivalry games to me, as much as they don't make sense, I think they should be at the end. I do like when they happen because it gives the week some juice. And Iowa State, Iowa is always juice. Iowa State's another team. They scored 21 points in the first week. They need to look better this week. That's an under the radar game. South Carolina at Kentucky. Just these conference games in week 2. You never know what these teams are going to be doing. Georgia Tech at Syracuse, by the way. Dangerous spot for Georgia Tech. Really dangerous spot. K-State at Tulane. You talk about a dangerous spot. They've already lost to this team in the past. Michigan State at Maryland. Michigan State looked garbage, but maybe they're not that bad. How about could South Florida at Alabama be under the radar?
The spread, I think last night when I looked, the line was like 31, and I immediately was like, hold on a fucking minute. Like, I mean, I know Alabama looked phenomenal, and I do like Jalen Miller a lot. South Florida's good. 31 points for them is a ton.
Kansas at Illinois is like the most under the radar game that's possible on a football schedule. But both these teams might be. Well, we know Kansas is pretty good; they're ranked, but Illinois might be okay too. So that's an interesting one right there. I haven't even talked about another spotlight game. That's my fault. I'm missing a spotlight game. I'll get to that spotlight game in a second.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting at how you wedge that one in.
I wrote it down too far down the list, but Texas Tech at Washington State, Boise at Oregon, App State at Clemson. But we didn't talk Colorado, Nebraska, which is my fault. That is not an under the radar game. That is an over the radar game. That is a giant. It'll do giant ratings. It'll pop a number. It is Colorado, the most watched team in college football, against a Nebraska team who is starting a 5-star freshman and feels like they're starting to rumble like they could be back. Big Ev, as much as Colorado looked a little sluggish in week 1, as much as they gave up some points to North Dakota State, and as much as they kind of looked soft on both lines, like you give me a quarterback, some great receivers, and and the ability to throw the ball down the field, I'm going to take my chances at a lot of spots. Can Colorado go into Nebraska and win this game?
I think I definitely can't sit here and say that they can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely, obviously the clear worry is the trenches, but I mean, especially if we're talking from a betting standpoint, but even just a game standpoint in general, you're going to give me 7.5 points, that quarterback, those receivers.
Yeah.
It's intriguing, very intriguing. I mean, because I think no matter what, they will be able to score some. I think their offensive line can hold up enough that they will. Sure, they will have enough time. The receivers will get open. They will score. It's how much they can slow down Nebraska's offense, I think, is the biggest concern for me. But I think Colorado's. I can't say sneaky because everyone's talking about Colorado, but catching it over a touchdown here, I think it's a lot of points.
I think they're a live dog. I think they're a real.
That's what I'm saying. I think they definitely can come in here and win. That wouldn't shock me at all. I mean, they were underdogs last year.
Yeah.
And they boat raced them. Listen, I think Rayola is a massive upgrade. Jeff Sims is brutal. I mean, good God.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still think they have the athletes. Like they can go in there and hang on any given day.
He's an upgrade. He is an upgrade. There's no question about that. He's also in the second game of his career, in the first actual game of his career. This is the first, all right, kid, you got to go win us a fucking football game. This is the first spot. National TV, however many thousand people in the stands going crazy, probably the biggest audience of the day outside of Texas, Michigan. So this is the first time where, all right, 5-star freshman, you got to step up and be a fucking leader and do it. I don't know. I like Colorado's chances to listen. Because as much as we say, Colorado, they went 4-8. Colorado, Nebraska hasn't proven a goddamn thing. Not a fucking thing. They won 40-7 last week. That's fine. Raiola did look good. They haven't proven anything either. So it's an interesting spot for both of them. Blutman, I can tell by the malaise on your face, you think Nebraska's going to just mollywop Colorado.
We watched North Dakota State.
See, I know. I can read this man.
We had them have a little creativity in the offense. Passing game wide open with inferior talent compared to what Nebraska has at quarterback and in the wide receiver room. I think it's going to be very difficult for Colorado's DBs outside Travis Hunter to keep up with Isaiah Nayer and Jamal Banks. Jamal Banks' size, one of the most underrated transfers in the entire country. Like a 6'4", 6'5" jump ball demon that comes over from Wake Forest. If you just throw him the ball up, 50-50 balls become 99-1 balls. It is truly out. His catch radius, everything about this guy. Do you see the catch he had in week 1? It doesn't matter. And then people go and say, oh, they're playing like garbage, whatever. They're playing UTEP. It doesn't matter. If you could see the talent, if you could see the traits, that stuff outweighs everything. Jamal Banks will catch quite literally anything thrown his way. He's getting it's
I like
very
the
hard for
phrase-
me to see Colorado's DBs keeping up with these guys.
I like the phrase 99-1 balls.
Yeah. We all
You-
smile at
you-
that.
You throw the old Banksy, it's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Just coming down.
Thanks to the bank.
All right, let's get to the categories. But
What?
first, Kayce,
You're not going to ask me what I think about Colorado?
did I not?
No.
You talk so much that I figured you
That's
already
fair.
said it.
Honestly, that's fair. No, I'm as a Colorado person, secondary to A&M and whatever. I'm very concerned about that. I mean,
Can't be an everything person.
I'm not an everything person.
You're a Michigan person, a USC
I'm,
person.
I'm an
Colorado.
A&M person, and
You're
then you're an Ohio State person.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
No.
Oh.
That's a misconception. I've never been pro Ohio State. I've always been anti-Michigan.
Brandon.
What if I've been pro Ohio State? I picked Penn State to beat them last year.
Well, we don't need to go down this rabbit hole. We'll have a conversation. But the fact that Nebraska's defense is very good, we know that. We're waiting to see with Dylan Raiola. The biggest issue to me, and Liam said it in much more eloquent terms, is like Colorado is not going to be able to stop Dylan Raiola in that offense the entire game. Shedeur is going to be able to score, obviously, like all the weapons they have. But Nebraska's defense versus Colorado's defense, at least from what we've seen, is not even a question. And it's not just Nebraska last week. It's Nebraska who they have had on their defensive side of the ball. And it's a little bit scary because that whatever Dion was trying to do on the defensive side in the transfer portal did not look good last week. So I'm a little concerned about it. Like, I would love to agree with the two of you saying that you think that they're a live dog. I think that it would be fun for football to have like a close game. It's just, I think Nebraska is just a much more talented defense than Colorado is. And that's the biggest issue.
Regardless, it's going to be quite the scene. Lincoln,
definitely.
Nebraska. We went last year when they had no chance against Michigan. They were done 30 seconds into the game. But still, it was just full. It was loud. But that was in the middle of the daytime. This is going to be prime time at night, full stadium. They're going to be excited. They think they're possibly trending towards back. Just going to be an amazing, amazing, amazing piece of college football. All right, let's do some business.
Some business. You might want to, I don't know if they're sitting next to you or not. Pork rinds, baby. I don't know where they are.
I don't know where they are.
I gotta say, it's 8:45 in the morning Central. Yeah. And I want to eat a bag of pork rinds. Like, it is so early in the morning, and it is not so early, but so early in the morning for a snack, I would say. And the spicy dill, like, I've decided that it's not just a late night snack. It's not just a, throw it on the side with a sandwich, which, by the way, underrated. And Brandon, I know you have a bunch of kids. Like, a good like homemade sandwich with chips was always legit. Now homemade sandwich with some pork rinds on the side, phenomenal. Sounds delicious. I'd like to eat some pork rinds right now. I truly would. And I'm going to come down to your studio and steal all of them because I want some.
I'm trying to see the box is over there somewhere. We got a mess in here. The pick, what's the flavor? Spicy dill. Spicy dill. Thank you very much. But the barbecue is also very good. All the flavors are fantastic. The spicy dill is, in my opinion, the best. So we give it the most shine. But they're all great flavors.
They're all phenomenal, depending on your taste buds. So Southern recipe pork rinds. You can go to porkrinds.com. You can find them. Again, it's that perfect crunch. And a reminder that you don't have to feel guilty when you're eating them because there's like basically zero carbs, tons of protein, and they fill you up and they're delicious. They're absolutely delicious. So get your crunch time on. Find your crunch time hero at porkrinds.com. I'm already losing my voice and the day hasn't even started yet. That's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. All right. We'll start with Big Ev because he puts himself in the leadoff spot, even though I am the star of the show.
Little inside baseball here for the folks at home. That was a full conversation before we started recording. Brandon did not enjoy his placement on the 4-box.
Well, I did enjoy Big Ev's comeback when he said, "Trust me, if there was a worse spot I could put you, I would." Which is just a terrific way to shut somebody up.
It is early morning. Shut your ass up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, dude.
Also, like I said, I didn't watch this. Hold on.
Oh.
Oh,
No.
oh.
That's what it would look like if I put you there.
I kind of liked it better the other way.
Why'd you like it better? You want to?
I don't know. I got used to it. I got used to seeing myself. I don't like change. You know, as soon as he shows me one thing, I'm just all right.
Like I said, I don't choose. I just put them in. They just pop up where they pop up.
Yeah, because you're the first one, and then he was the second one.
I just add everyone as they come in.
All right. So we have what's the game you're most excited about? Who's the player to watch this week? Who's the under the radars game? The upset alert, and which game has 3 overtime potential? Big Av, we start with you. What game are you most excited about?
Yeah, I mean, we already talked about it. For me, it's got to be Tennessee, NC State. For one reason, I'm just excited. I'm very excited to see Nico play a real team. Obviously, his hype is now through the roof. He's become a one-name guy, I think, partly because he's good, partly because his last name is impossible to say. So he's been granted Nico, which I respect. I love a good one-name guy. That's big time. But I want to see how he does against a real team. First big start for him this season. And 2 teams that have a lot of hope. And the winner, like I said, the winner of this game, I think, puts themselves in a very, very good spot. I think it's super high scoring. Yeah, I'm just excited to see the quarterback duo. I think 2 of the better quarterbacks in the country. I'm very, very excited to see them duke it out. I like the over. I think we're going to get a better game than people think. I think NC State might surprise some people and have a little bounce back performance here in week 2.
Blutman, what game are you most excited about?
You know, there's a lot of good games this week, honestly. A lot of under-the-radar games this week. But nothing piques my interest more than watching Ollie Gordon tote the rock 36 times against an Arkansas offense that I think is not sneaky good, in the words of Mark Tyus. I think that offense is pretty good. I think it's very fun to watch. Taylon Green. If you haven't watched Taylon Green play, you've made a mistake in the last 2 years. Now's your time. I watched this guy, first drive of his collegiate career at Boise State, 76-yard touchdown run against Oregon State. Quickly realized this guy is a unicorn. He's 6'6". His strides are so long. He runs out there like a gazelle. He's truly impressive. He's been working the passing game. Petrino's getting him right. So I can't wait to watch that. And they've got some dudes in the receiving room. So, yeah. I mean, and Jaquindon Jackson, Brandon, how good was he in week 1 against UAPB?
Who?
UAPB. Still a girl.
Kayce, what game are you most excited about?
I mean, is it cheating that it's Michigan, Texas? I mean, I feel like it has to be. Just from a standpoint of, I mean, not to mention just for us, like we're going to be there. But I think that the fact that you're getting a team that has a ton of hype in Texas, and a lot of people have them in the playoff, including me. You know, we even got to see, you know, Arch Manning come in and play, and like everything that they have going. And regardless of how you feel about Michigan, they are the defending national champions. So just like the marquee of this game, like having a new SEC team that's on the rise again, the Texas is back thing seems to be real, going into Ann Arbor, start the day off in the big house, and just the excitement that'll be there alone. But just from a standpoint of Big Ten SEC football, like that's crazy to say that that's what we're seeing with Texas and Michigan, but that's what it is. And I just don't think any other game even potentially comes close to that.
Well, you're wrong, because my most exciting game, what is my favorite thing in college football to talk about, to study, to trade in? It's pure old-fashioned hatred. Hatred is the gas that fuels the engine of college football. Hatred moves the wheels of history in college football. That's what the key component of college football that sets apart from everything else is pure old-fashioned hate. And Texas, Michigan, great game. 2 top 10 teams. I could see them after playing the game going to the 50-yard line and just sitting around having tea together. Just like, this tea, that was a terrific game, don't you think, Bertram? Like that Tennessee, NC State, whatever, they're going to get through playing and they're just going to square dance together. It doesn't matter. But in Iowa City, when Iowa State comes in and Iowa's doing it and they're doing their wave to the children's hospital to make them seem likable, these 2 teams fucking hate each other. They hate each other. They fucking hate each other, and they're both pretty good. neither offense is good. It's going to be the ugliest, sloppiest, meanest, nastiest football game possible in week 2. 9-7 final is a very distinct possibility, and that might be an offensive explosion. That's the game of the week to me.
They do hate each other. And you were talking earlier about rivalries being, they're better at the end of the year. And I know that regardless of how good or bad your team is, you always want to kick the shit out of your rival. One of the cool things about it being early in the season, though, is that they both still have a ton of hope because they don't know what the rest of the season is going to look like. Like both of these fan bases are like, hey, we still have a chance to make the playoff. We could still be pretty good. So it's beating their rival and getting that leg up and being like, hey, it's only week 2. Like we've got the entire season in front of us. So as much as I wouldn't want my rivalry game to be early on in the season, I'm okay with other ones who I'm like, it means a whole hell of a lot more when there's still a bunch of hope on the table.
If you beat your rival early, if you beat them in the last game of the season, you have all off season to brag. If you beat them early, you have all season to brag. Even no matter what they do, fuck you.
Yeah.
Iowa. If Iowa State wins, Iowa can go beat Ohio State. Fuck you.
Now,
Iowa I can go beat Michigan. Fuck you.
Fuck you, I beat you. It doesn't matter. The only thing sweeter than that, though, would be that if you are a rival that spoils a playoff spot. Like, let's say Iowa and Iowa State, if Iowa's in the mix in the Big Ten, which, they I guess they could be. They did score 40 points last week, which is still nuts. If Iowa State could be like, okay, well, fuck you, and we ruin your playoff, potential, that would be great. But I like it. I like it. And we've been there. I hated being there. We've been there. They do fucking hate each other, and they hated us too.
All right, Big F. Who's the player to watch this week?
The player I'm most excited to watch, Brandon, I thought about this. I think it's Ashton Genty. I'm excited to see him go up against that Oregon defense. Did I steal yours? Yep, I definitely stole yours, and I'm glad I did because smart guy. That's why I go lead off, Brandon. Genty getting to run the ball, not against Georgia Southern this week, against Big Bad Oregon in Eugene, a guy that was trying to get poached by Bama, by Ohio State, by everybody, who Aaron Liam Blutman has claimed as the best running back in the country. Very excited to see him go up against Oregon in Eugene.
Blutman, who's the player you're most excited to watch?
One, it makes me very happy to see everyone getting so excited to watch the Boise State running back play football and tune in every week. I'm very happy about that for him and the NFL money that he's going to make. I have 3 players to watch, and all for various reasons. I'm not going to steal them, though, so I'll say them after, I guess. My guy, Friday night game against SMU, wide receiver at BYU, Chase Roberts. Big opportunity for him. SMU lackluster. Chase Roberts shows late hands very well. I think he looks the part of a pro. He'd be an undrafted guy probably, but he's just always open. He's reliable. He's sure-handed, sneaky, crafty. I like Chase Roberts a lot.
Now, Kayce, who's your player to watch?
I'm just going chalk at this point because there's really not as many games as we were excited about in week 1. But I think it's a mix between Travis Hunter and Dylan Raiola, because when you look at that game, and first of all, I think Travis Hunter, if we're looking at, and I said this last episode, a lot of people are saying it. If you're talking about Heisman Trophy rankings, he should be up there. How many snaps does he get against Nebraska? Because it is a hell of a lot. North Dakota State gave them problems, but just the pure physicality difference between North Dakota State and Nebraska, how many snaps does Travis Hunter get? Are we sitting here next week being like, this
all
means,
of them.
Is he still playing 150 snaps? Is this man
all of them.
That is crazy to me. And then obviously Dylan Raiola in that same game. And it could even be Dylan Raiola versus Travis Hunter, but Dylan Raiola, he looked the part last week. He looks like a young Patrick Mahomes, the way he physically looks, he has all this hype. Colorado's defense is not good. Can he take advantage of it to where, again, we're sitting here next week being dude, Dylan Raiola is the fucking truth. So that game to me, I'm most excited about Texas, Michigan, just because it's the marquee game. I think that the players to watch in that game are more interesting to me because of the star potential. Oh, Brandon, what player are you most excited to watch?
Give me Nico. Nico was outstanding in week 1. He looked the part, and they played a shitty team, and they won 69-3. Doesn't matter. The score doesn't matter. But he looked in command. The offense looked ready to go. The receivers look great. And now it's prime time. Now it's against a ranked opponent. Now the Tennessee offense goes to the big time. What do you got, Nico? This is your first big spot as Tennessee's quarterback. And I think he's I still think he's going to be a Heisman threat. Like he's really goddamn good. And so to me, it's Nico. But I did have Ashton Jeanty at first. I wrote down Ashton Jeanty.
You know, like one of the two other ones that are in, one of them played 10 snaps last week because they were resting him for this game. James Pierce is going to be unleashed this week. And it's kind of criminal that we haven't even mentioned him yet. He could still very well be the best player in the country. He hasn't had any reps. He's going to feast on NC State. Then when the Texas running back injury news happened, they lost two guys. There was a lot of worry.
Yeah.
Not from me. Said,
Okay.
Look out for Jarrett Gibson. What Jarrett Gibson, the true freshman, do in week 1? Like 11 carries, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Look out for him against that stout Michigan front.
All right. Let's go with our under the radar game. Big Ev, what's the most under the radar game that could be fantastic?
I think the most underrated game, Brandon, is Washington State, Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
High scoring game, high total. These are two teams. I don't know if they could stop a nosebleed, Brandon. Texas Tech let up 51 points and over 500 passing yards last week to Abilene Christian. I'd have to imagine Wazoo's going to have some success in the air. Baron Morton also threw for 1,000,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. I think this high-scoring game written all over it. I think it's a ton of fun. Late-night game, Washington State, Texas Tech.
Liam Blutman, God knows what you're going to say. What's your under-the-radar game?
What do you think I'm going to say?
I don't know.
Whoever South Dakota State's playing this week.
Oh, so close. Mwah, 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 mwah. The number 6 team in the FCS, South Dakota. So you're close.
That's close.
Yeah, very close. The Yotes, they're playing at Wisconsin. Is Wisconsin good? Honest question. Is Wisconsin good? Or are they the same old product?
They don't appear to be.
Same old product. All right. So Wisconsin
Same
underwhelmed.
old Prague?
What?
Same old Prague?
Same old product.
Or product?
It's 8 a.m. You got to give me some leeway
I thought you said Prague like program.
I thought he said Prague too.
Oh, I should maybe start doing that. That's kind of sick. Wisconsin underwhelmed big time versus Western Michigan. This is just not a team I could get excited about, and they're often going to be an upset alert in games like this. They make good adjustments in the second half. Fickle does a great job with that. Give him credit, and that's why they pull away from these games, and the games don't end up looking as difficult as they really were. However, when you got a guy like Charles Pierre Jr. in the South Dakota backfield, you got a true potential star player. Game changer? I don't know. I'm looking forward to this one.
Kayce Smith, under the radar game.
You mentioned it earlier. It's South Carolina, Kentucky for me. South Carolina looks like potentially the worst team in the SEC. Anytime you have an early season SEC game, and we don't know exactly how good Kentucky is going to look. We think that they're going to be fine, but there's just something about these spots where I am, guilty of this too. Like I'm like South Carolina blows, get Shane Beamer out. Like, would it surprise me if we're going to be watching this game? It's like, no, it's an early season SEC matchup, 2 former SEC East teams that are very familiar with each other. And it might be a little bit of a gross, fun football game. Like that, I think South Carolina is a little bit better than they looked last year. They had no business being in that game with Old Dominion, but I'm also not sure Kentucky's fantastic either.
Spoiler alert, when we do the show on Saturday, when we come to our proper picks, Kentucky -10 is my proper pick.
Is it?
I think Kentucky just destroyed them. Yeah, I think they beat them.
So do you think you really again,
South Carolina is garbage.
They're awful. But are they like bottom of the barrel SEC garbage, no hope at all?
I think if you had to vote if there was a ballot for a worst team in the SEC in this season, they are certainly a candidate.
That's fair.
You think Dylan Stewart transfers out of there after a season?
I don't know, because you got to see who's going to be their coach next year.
Right. And how soon they fire Shane Beamer.
I mean, he's going to get massive offers from like Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, but you got to assume he got those offers in the first place.
Yeah, but then you put out elite tape as a true freshman in the SEC on a very bad South Carolina team.
Yeah,
stock goes way up. The money comes in way more.
All right.
Oh, Brandon, under the radar game.
It's Kansas, Illinois. Like it's a clash of styles. It's one team that wants to pound your run through your fucking face, another one that wants to run around your face and just say hey to your face as it goes and scores a touchdown. They're also pretty good. Illinois is they're just as under the radar as you can possibly be right now, and I think they might be pretty decent football team. Kansas is a decent football team, so I just think this again. You're talking colliding conferences here. I like Kansas, Illinois. I think that has a chance to be a really terrific fucking football game. How much business we got left?
We got some more business. We got more business, Brandon.
All right, give me some more business.
Well, your business is you need to find a car for your daughter. And where
Yeah,
do you go? Cars.com.
Yep. You're not going to believe this.
Oh, I'm not.
And you're thinking they probably add 25 cars a day. They probably add 30 cars a day. Well, those are good numbers, but they add up to 50,000 cars every single day on cars.com. And surely that only means they have like, I don't know, 100,000 cars. No. They have up to 2 million cars at all times. And if you want to know the value of your car, they have that. They can tell you the precise value of your car better than anybody in the world. So whatever you need when it comes to buying a car, if it's buying, if it's looking, if it's browsing, if it's selling, cars.com is the place.
Cars.com. Yeah, you can do it from sitting at home. Pick whatever you want. We love them. Eventually, when I buy a car, it's going to be cars.com.
Who is Big Ev? Who better be on upset alert?
Brandon? I think you're going to like my answer, Brandon. I think it's the Arizona State Sun Devils might be on upset alert this weekend.
Ooh.
I'll tell you what, I think this, when you talked over, speaking of that, Mike Brandon, we talked over reaction spots, week 1 to week 2. I think Arizona State laying a touchdown to any SEC team, whether it's Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, whoever, is crazy. A lot of giving them a lot of respect for blowing out just a bad Wyoming team who came in to shit the bed. I like Blake Shapen, Brandon. I think he's pretty good. I think he's not too bad. And I think they come in here catching 6.5, and I think they're frisky, Brandon. I think they might go steal one.
First of all, thank you. Secondly, Shapen did look great. Third of all, I'm terrified of this game, and I wouldn't agree with you.
All right.
Brandon, how terrified? How terrified?
Let's be honest. I'm terrified of every game.
That's fair.
We haven't done a game in 5 years where I wasn't terrified going in. Blutman, who's on upset alert?
It might not count.
Okay. What?
It might not count because Ev was talking about Arizona State. Yeah. They beat up on Wyoming. There's no line for this game. Idaho looked really good in the loss at Oregon. I think when this line comes out, Idaho's going to be the FCS over FBS favorite. So I don't think I could really pick that. So I would. I mean, like, there's a line you said earlier that's irked me for about 20 minutes, Brandon.
Okay.
You were talking about Kansas. You're like, we know they're good. They're ranked. Sure, you can't say that. The AP poll, the voters, they stink. They don't watch ball. They don't know ball. The ACC stinks, and they've got 3 teams to close out the top 25. Georgia Tech's one of them. Tell me why right now Georgia Tech is ranked after beating that awful Florida State team that Boston College went on the road to and beat them worse and in more dominant fashion. Why is Georgia Tech ranked? They should not be ranked. Syracuse outright at home. Easy pick.
First of all, I said we know Kansas is good, period. They're ranked, period. It wasn't, we know Kansas is good, they're ranked.
Preseason poll.
Well, you're right. And I warned against this when Georgia Tech beat Florida State. Let's not rank them high just because they beat Florida State. All right, continue. Kayce, who's on upset alert?
I mean, I have the same one, and I know Liam and I talked about this before the show, but I think that Syracuse, especially with Kyle McCord, and I understand like Kyle McCord didn't work out at Ohio State, but he can sling the ball. I do not understand Georgia Tech being ranked. And on top of that too, like Syracuse, like they're always like, at least since we've been doing this show, like they always have like some sort of hype, and then it always like the Tommy DeVito phase, right? Where it was just like, okay, like what's it going to be? Kyle McCord didn't work out at Ohio State solely because he didn't beat Michigan. And I do not understand what we're looking at with, I think it's +3 right now, looking at this Georgia Tech team and saying like, no, they should be favored at home. And I know it's, an early game, but at Syracuse at home, give me Syracuse. Give me Kyle McCord. I'm buying in.
All right.
Brandon, under the radar game?
No.
Oh, upset alert. Sorry.
Not the category.
Lots of views.
So upset alert does not necessarily mean that this team is going to win the game and this team will upset this team. What it means is this ranked team better be on high alert and they better be on their P's and Q's, because if they fuck around, they will get taken down. They will get sniped. This team right here has already had it happen to this team. Tulane's already beaten Kansas State before. They went up to Manhattan a couple of years ago and beat them. Now, Kansas State is a better team now than they were 2 years ago. And Tulane is not as good as they were 2 years ago. But if you're going to New Orleans to play Tulane, like, you better be on the highest alert, because Kansas State has big plans this year. They got big Big 12 plans. They think they're going to be in the mix all the way. They think they're a playoff team. They're ranked number 17 in the country. Nothing could upset the apple cart more than to lose in New Orleans on a sleepy Saturday to Tulane. Kansas State is on high upset alert.
Love it.
Yeah, I know, right? Do our last piece of business, and then we'll do our last piece of category.
Well, it all works together, Brandon, because we have our own Unnecessary Roughness DraftKings Dog of the Week segment now.
Yes,
and not
we
only do we have Dog of the Week, we have a parlay on the sportsbook that you can go bet with us. All four of us have a pick. It's a CFB profit boost. So like, you can go in, you can see all of our picks right there. And we have, it's not just our pick too, by the way. All of college football has parlay profit boosts across the board. So go in and do that. But the Unnecessary Roughness Dog of the Week, we need to put our parlay together, fellas. So who wants to go first?
Well, Big Ev's going first. He goes first for everything.
Well, I didn't know if somebody was super excited about theirs. Actually, I'm going to go first because I already said mine. Mine's Syracuse +3.
Yeah, that was kind of a shitty move.
Why?
Because you took it from Blutman, and you know you did that.
I did not. He asked me first.
I asked her first. I pivoted.
No.
You do this, and then you get all your little
Why are you hollering?
You get all your little cronies to Kayce copied Liam before.
I don't have cronies.
But yes, you do. Before the show, Liam said, "Can everybody give me their DraftKings parlay pick?" And I went first, and I said Syracuse +3. Everyone else went, and at the end, Liam was like, "Oh, I have to change mine." And I thought he had the same as yours. He was like, "No, I had Syracuse money line." Thank you.
I am bottom list of the priority here.
No, you're not.
Yep.
No, you're not.
Yep.
There are a lot of people that would say you're top of the list, Liam. But anyways, DraftKings Dog of the Week parlay. Go to DraftKings again. Use our promo code ROUGH, $5 on any bet, and then you get $250 in bonus bets. Syracuse +3 is mine.
I'm going to change mine because I just realized we have one on the college football show too. I would like two different picks. I don't want, because I'm going to do the one I was going to do here. I'm going to do it there.
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, then I need to change mine too.
You don't have to change yours.
No, you're right though. I don't want the same one.
Well, I mean, if that's your best pick, that's your best pick.
It is. Okay.
But I had two picks that I was down to. Blutman, what's your pick?
Yeah, so I almost thought about Tulsa +215. I thought about Michigan +7. I'm going to go with Army moneyline +145. I don't think that they should be an underdog against this FAU team. I watched the whole FAU Michigan State game. It was 60-10, whatever. I don't think FAU looked that good. I don't think their offense looked good. Never been a Cam Fancher guy. He took about 36 brutal hits in that game too. He's banged up. Give me Army. America.
We love the troops.
Big F?
Yeah, mine's Iowa State +3. Give me the 3 points in a rock fight. I'm high in Iowa State this year. I just don't. McNamara stinks. I mean, they're not.
He's so bad.
Yeah.
They went and scored 40 against like jerk off State. I don't care about that. Iowa State comes in to win this game, but I'll take the 3 points.
And I will stick with. I'm going to change the one for the college football show, so I will stick right here with the one I originally picked. I think Arkansas's got something for Oklahoma State. I think that's a really close game. 7.5 is a little bit too much. Arkansas is going to be able to score. Oklahoma State's going to be able to score too. It's going to be a very good game. I like the SEC team to keep it close. Arkansas, I don't like trusting this coach, but they looked really fucking good last week, and I assume Bobby Petrino is the actual coach of this team now, and not fat ass McFatty. So we're going to go with We're gonna
Fat
go
ass McFatty. Tell us how
Really?
you really feel. Your lights just went
Oh,
off.
Oh,
Oh.
oh,
And
no!
how the tables have turned. So there's
The
probably
walk
a
of
lot
I
of people.
told you got it.
oh! The walk of shame to turn him back on.
A lot of people listening, like, what just happened? Brandon has shamed.
Apparently, I just didn't move for a while.
He's
That's
shamed Liam so many times
embarrassing.
for those lights going off in that studio.
So our parlay is it was Georgia Tech plus no. It was Syracuse plus 2.5. It was Army money line. It was Iowa State plus 3 and Arkansas plus 7.5. Correct?
The unnecessary roughness parlay.
The underdog parlay. All right. Last category. What game has 3 overtime potential? What could be the game that when you wake up on Sunday morning and your boy texts you and you're like, dude, did you see this fucking game? Did you see this fucking game right here? Big Ev, which game you got?
Brandon, I think it's FAU Army.
Yeah?
I could see that just being just a crazy game. I was got triple option. FAU looked decent last week against Michigan State, at least held their own. Yeah, I think that's got big triple overtime potential.
Blutman?
I actually did forget to think of one, so I am thinking of one. I
Kayce?
brought a protect your eyes game of the week.
You know what? You can do whatever you want. What's
Do
the
what you-
protect your eyes game of the week? Because I know what it is.
It's
on,
not
is it on
Iowa
Friday night?
State.
Is it on Friday night?
No.
It's not Duke Northwestern?
Oh, well, that is a protect your eye game for sure.
The protect your eyes game of the week is Marshall at Virginia Tech. We saw Virginia Tech in week 1.
I'm just going to say something right now, Blutman.
Yeah, ain't nobody watching that.
No, the protect your eyes game of the week is here to stay. That's a terrific category.
That is a good category.
Shout out to Notre Dame A&M for inspiring.
The protect your eyes game of the week is now on the list for future episodes.
It also just makes so much sense that Liam's eyes show how tired and how awful football is. You know what I mean? Like when Liam shows up with like what he looks like he just got in a fight with Mike Tyson, it's because he just watched a horrible fucking football game.
Yeah. This game's bad to watch because, we saw Virginia Tech in week 1 and they did not look like a cohesive unit in the slightest. But more specifically, Marshall likes to muck things up. Marshall also is playing 3 quarterbacks as they did in week 1. Braylon Braxton, the Tulsa transfer, Cole Pennington, the son of Chad, and Stone Earl, who they got 2 weeks ago.
Stone Earl?
Stone
Earl, Abilene Christian, North Texas. They pulled him out 2 weeks ago and said, come to Marshall. And he did.
I didn't even know you could do that.
It's insane. He's an August transfer.
Kayce, 3 overtime potential.
We talked about it. Clemson, App State. App State, when we did our college football playoff predictions, I have App State being that group of 5 team in. I love App State. I think that they have a great quarterback, and the App State's always in these games. I mean, they did it with North Carolina a few years ago. They obviously have done it with A&M. They've done it throughout their years. And Clemson being a 17-point favorite with that offense, like it would make sense for App State to hang around, and then it would make sense to me, like, yeah, of course it's going into overtime. It's fucking App State. Like who goes into more overtimes? App State.
I got one that goes into more overtimes because I'm going by the exact same principle.
And
if you think over the years, 7 overtime games, 6 overtime games, 7 overtime games, 6 overtime game, 5 overtime game. What program has played in the most? At least it seems like they played in the most. Anybody got a guess who that is?
Illinois.
Texas Tech.
Arkansas is in a 7 overtime game like once every 3 years.
Good point.
Arkansas was in the original 7 overtime game 20 years ago. They were in the one with LSU a couple years ago. That was A&M. Arkansas was in 2 triple overtime games with LSU. Arkansas was in another long overtime game against Ole Miss. Arkansas is just in overtime games all the time. It's Arkansas, Oklahoma State.
That's a good one.
Arkansas, Oklahoma State just feels like I don't know. Is it in the 2:30? Where is that? Is that no? It's 11 a.m.
Yeah, it's noon.
It feels like that game could still be going at 4 o'clock.
That's a great answer, and you're right. It's the same principle. Like I was looking at it from like App State's always there to fuck up something, but no, you're Arkansas, Oklahoma State just screams ugly long football game.
Yeah,
like 5 hours.
All right, that's our
Texas Tech, Washington State for that. I stopped it.
But you.
I know, but then I was thinking.
Okay, fine. So Texas Tech, Washington State.
Yeah, that could be like 64-62.
Okay, You don't have to. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's
You see
fine.
that in
By the way,
the
Why am I
13th
using this
overtime?
mic? Isn't even plugged in.
I know.
All right. So that's week 2. We'll be Saturday night's going to be interesting because we will be back from Ann Arbor. You guys going back? Or Big Ev, you staying there or what?
No, I land in Newark at like 6.
I'm
Okay.
flying with you guys back to Chicago, so I'll be good.
Why?
Can we talk about this off air?
What? Okay. All right. And I'll be watching. There will be a Mississippi State Arizona State game as we do that. So that'll be
That'll be fun.
quite the event. All right. Until then, that's Unnecessary Roughness.